Today, I'm recreating my favorite entree salad, the Cobb. I like it because it's a protein-packed, low-carb meal. In this video, I'll show you how to prepare each component, then bring it all together with the delicious dressing. This dish originated at the Brown Derby restaurant in Hollywood, California, just up the freeway from where I live. What was meant to be a late-night meal for the owner, Robert Cobb, turned into their signature dish and one of the most famous salads in the world. To get started, let's cook some eggs. Fill a large pot with enough water to cover the eggs by 1 inch once added. Bring to a boil at 212 degrees, then carefully place the eggs in the hot water. Boil for 30 seconds, then place the lid on the pot and reduce the heat to low. Cook on low simmer for 12 minutes. To immediately halt the cooking process, make an ice water bath. I have 4 cups of ice and add 4 cups of water. Gently lower each hard-boiled egg into the water. Let these cool completely for about 15 minutes, and in the meanwhile, we can prepare the other ingredients. Heat a large skillet over medium heat. Once the pan is hot, add the bacon and cook until crispy, about 4 minutes on each side. Save the pan and grease to cook the chicken. Crispy pieces of bacon are going to add a nice smokiness to the dish. Because we're only cooking 4 strips, the stovetop is the quickest method. However, if you want to make a large batch, just add them onto a tray and roast them in the oven at 375 degrees. You could store it for 7 days and then just chop them up when you're ready to add it to the salad. Transfer the bacon to a paper towel-lined plate to drain any excess grease. To enhance the flavor on the surface of the chicken, I'm going to make a seasoning blend. Add 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, a half teaspoon of black pepper, and a 1/4 teaspoon of sweet paprika. Just mix this all together. Now set this aside. I have 1 pound of boneless, skinless chicken breast, and to ensure that it has even cooking, I'm going to slice them into thinner cutlets. As you can see, there's a thicker portion up top that tapers down at the bottom. Gently place your hand on top of the chicken, making sure that your fingers are pointed a little bit up, and then cut horizontally through the meat. You should have about a 1/2 to 3/4 inch thick pieces. Alternatively, you can place each breast in a resealable plastic bag and just pound it out to a 1/2 inch thickness. Season each side, making sure to get an even coating. Flip over to season the other side. I use this seasoning blend often just to give a nice boost of flavor onto different types of protein. This looks good. Let's head over to the stove. I'm going to use the pan that I cooked the bacon to also cook the chicken. It has the rendered grease that's going to add a ton of flavor to the meat. Alternatively, you could use a clean pan and 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Heat the pan over medium heat. Once hot, add the chicken. Cook until golden brown, about 5 minutes. Flip and cook until the internal temperature reaches 165 degrees, about 3 to 5 minutes. Transfer the chicken to a clean plate to cool. To make a crisp and colorful salad, I like to add a variety of fresh produce. The lettuce I'm going to use is romaine hearts. It just has the outer leaves removed. Cut into 3/4 inch thick strips lengthwise down the rib of the lettuce. Make a 1/4 turn and cut lengthwise again. Cut 3/4 inch thick strips. You'll have the nice tender leaves up top, and as you move further down the rib, it's going to be nice and crispy. And then just discard this bottom part because it could be a little bit bitter. Transfer this directly to your salad spinner so that we can wash and clean it. If you want to add some variety, endive, watercress, and iceberg are also lettuces that are traditionally used in this recipe. We need about 10 cups. Let's go give these a rinse. I have a basket of ripe baby tomatoes that are nice and sweet. They've already been washed and I'm just going to cut them in half. They add a nice juiciness to the salad. We need 1 cup. Red onion adds a nice pungency to the dish. Cut off both ends, leaving the root intact so it doesn't fall apart. Cut the onion in half lengthwise. Peel off the skin. Cut the onion into quarters so that the slices aren't too big, and then slice into really thin 1/8-inch thick pieces. We need a half cup. You can't have a California salad without avocado. Remove the stem, cut lengthwise until you hit the pit, and just rotate around till you reach the other side. Twist to separate into 2 halves. To remove the pit, tap the blade into the seed, and then just give it a twist. To safely release the seed, just pinch with your 2 fingers, run the knife down each half lengthwise, about 1/4 inch thick. This adds a nice creaminess to the salad. Use a spoon to release the flesh from the skin. Just turn and scoop out. I have these beautiful fresh chives that are gonna add a nice herbaceous note to the salad. Trim off the ends and then cut into really thin pieces. We need 1 tablespoon. To peel the hard-boiled eggs, just crack them on their side, all the way around so that the shell releases, and then just use your fingers to pull off the outer layer. Once the eggs are peeled, if you notice any shells on the surface, just run it under some cool water to remove it. Cut each one in half lengthwise. As you can see, the yolk is golden, no green ring on the outside. The bacon is nice and crispy. Stack them on top of each other. Cut into 1/2-inch thick pieces. The chicken has cooled completely. Cut them into 1/2-inch thick strips. If you want smaller bite-sized pieces, you can cut them into cubes. If you want to speed up the cooking process, you could also use leftover roasted chicken. I have a recipe video for that, and I'll link to it in the video description below. This recipe makes for a large family-sized meal, which you can serve on a platter, but I'm going to make a smaller individual portion. I have some of the greens in a shallow bowl. Layer the chicken strips on top. Add a little bit of the sliced red onion, these beautiful red and juicy tomatoes. Add some bacon, 2 eggs, and crumbled blue cheese. You could also use Roquefort, Gorgonzola, feta, or goat cheese. Fan out the avocado, place it on the side. Garnish with some fresh chives on top. Now that we have this beautiful salad, let's make the dressing. To balance the rich and creamy ingredients, I'm going to make a simple vinaigrette. First thing is to mince a shallot. Trim off both ends. Cut the shallot in half lengthwise. Remove the skin. Cut thin strips about 1/16 of an inch. And then use the rocking motion to mince so that you have really small pieces. Shallots have nuances of onion and garlic, so it's almost like you get 2 for 1, but the flavor is much more delicate so it doesn't overpower the dressing. We need 1 tablespoon. To make the dressing, add a 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar. It's gonna add a nice pungency. 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. It's going to help the emulsion stay suspended longer. A 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. A 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper for a little bit of spice. Whisk this all together. To create a thickened consistency, slowly add a 1/2 cup of olive oil. Make sure to constantly whisk. This is going to break the fat into small oil droplets, which is going to get suspended. Take your time with this process. If you add it in too quickly, it's just going to all coalesce together and form a greasy film on top. This vinaigrette is a semi-permanent emulsion, so if you're not going to use it right away, make sure you whisk it right before serving. Add 1 tablespoon of the chopped shallots. Whisk that to infuse the flavor into the dressing. Wow, this looks incredible. I cannot wait to dig in. Drizzle some of the dressing right on top. I like to serve any of the extra on the side. If you're looking for another delicious recipe, give my Greek salad a try right here. It's really crisp and flavorful. I hope you enjoyed learning the science behind Cobb salad, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up. It means a lot when you do. See you in the next video. Add a little bit more chives. There we go.